Hi everyone, we are live and I want to welcome you to People and Purpose, the podcast where we dive deep into the stories, the passion and experience that drive purpose-driven leadership across the globe. I'm your host Tarja Takko, and today we are exploring a topic that is right in the center of impactful leadership, emotional intelligence. In today's volatile, fast-changing world, the ability to lead with empathy, presence and emotional clarity is not just a nice to have, it's a must-have, and one could also say that it's a game changer. And I cannot think of a better person who can unpack this with us than my guest today, joining from Portugal, Ricardo Cabete. Ricardo is an internationally recognized expert and a keynote speaker in emotional intelligence. With a very diverse background that spans engineering, rock music, and leadership coaching, he brings a truly unique and inspiring perspective on what it means to lead with emotions, connect with purpose, and build truly human-centered organizations. Warm welcome, Ricardo.
Hi, Tarja, and everyone watching the podcast. Thank you so much for the invitation.
Thank you for joining. Hey, let's dive in and start with your personal journey. Ricardo, your path into emotional intelligence and leadership is very far from traditional paths. So you are from engineering and rock music to keynoting across the world. What drew you to this work?
It's a long story, but I was in engineering university, but I didn't finish the course, so it wasn't really my passion. Then I went to mathematics. So I have a degree in applied mathematics. I worked in a bank for a few years, but still wasn't my passion. So my focus was always to have my freedom, my autonomy to create. So creativity is very important to me. And so, but I didn't know what was my purpose, what was my way. Even though I always loved personal development, I was afraid of speaking in public. So I never imagined I could be a trainer, I could be a speaker. But one day when I was 22 years old, a friend of mine invited me to go to a karaoke. And of course I said no. And back then I was always running away from problems. Like there's this story about how buffaloes and cows face storms. And cows, they run away from the storm. So I had a cow attitude. I was running away from my problems. And I always said no to anything that was a challenge or difficult or that I needed to face my emotions. I would run away from it. And so I said no to my friend. And she said, hey, you don't need to sing. You just go and you don't sing. You just watch other people. And I said, I don't know, but okay. And I said, I agreed, but only in that condition. So I went to the karaoke, but what she did was she gave my name to the karaoke DJ without me knowing. And I was just relaxing. And all of a sudden, just drinking something, all of a sudden the karaoke DJ said, hey, Ricardo Cabete, come to the stage. 40 people in the room. Everyone's looking at me. I was very, very shy, introvert. I'm still introvert, not as shy right now, but still introvert. I said, no way, I'm not going to the stage. But he said, I'm not moving on with this night if you don't come to the stage, Ricardo. So I felt that social pressure. And for the first time, someone pushed me a little bit. And sometimes in life, we need that push. And that changed my life for better. Of course, it's a series, not just one thing that changes our life, but that helped for sure. I sang the song. And for the first time, I closed my eyes. I couldn't look at anyone. I couldn't face anyone, but I sang with my heart. And when I opened my eyes, I had 40 people cheering and clapping really loud. And I know that they were doing that because I was really shy and nervous. And then I sang from the heart. But for me, they were clapping and cheering like that because I overcome a fear that was 22 years old. And for me, my head was, wait, I was losing on life on this experience because I love to sing. And just because I could not manage my emotions and deal with it, I was running away from problems. I was not living life. And so my mind changed from running away from problems to face it all and risk it all. So I went to the first edition of American Idol, the Portuguese version, Portuguese Idol.
Oh, wow.
And in the first audition, they said, go home. So I failed in the first audition. And my first thought was, I'm no good at this. But then I did, not in the same day, I was devastated, but in the next few days, I changed how I thought. And now this is a technique, very simple, but hard to do, that I teach all over the world. Emotional intelligence technique. That is, challenge your automatic negative thoughts. Usually our thoughts, first ones, are negative. There's a evolutionary explanation for it. We're not going that path right now. But what happened was I changed from I'm no good at it, doesn't matter, to I can learn, I can be better. Well, I don't need to be a star, a singing star. I can be better and just enjoy my life. So I went online, searched for singing lessons. So I started singing lessons. I searched for an amateur rock band. I started practicing with the rock band. And 3 years later, after the audition, the failed audition, I was singing with my band in an international festival with the Black Eyed Peas, with Marilyn Manson and other big international bands. And this told me that just a shift in my thought, what I was thinking at that moment, I just shifted that and it changed the whole result. So this is what I teach. When you change what you think, you change what you feel, you change what you do, you change the results in your life. Yeah. So this is one of the episodes. Other is I invested in the stock market. I was earning a lot of money. And at the end of 1 year earning a lot of money, I lost all the money in just one day. And that day, I realized that was lack of emotional intelligence. So I started to work on myself, on my emotional intelligence. I saw the amazing results, and then I had the need to share. And sharing is really my purpose.
What a story, and also what a changing moment that your friend was actually setting in your life by inviting you and also putting you to sing in front of the audience. Wow. Was there a defining moment that really made you realize that this is my purpose? This is what is actually really driving me?
Actually, it's of course my purpose changed a little bit, and when I say sharing and helping others is really a lot of my purpose. Actually, I only defined my purpose less than 1 year ago. Because, for example, I entered Toastmasters. I don't know if you know Toastmasters. So Toastmasters is an international organization that helps people to communicate better, to do better speeches, leadership skills, communication skills. And they organized the World Championship of Public Speaking. I entered the championship a few years ago, and I was around 3 years, I started in 2014. In 2017, I was the European champion of public speaking. My goal was to be the world champion. I wanted to be the best speaker in the world. And in that moment, when I wanted to be the best speaker in the world, that was my focus. So I was, my level of what I wanted to achieve was very high. So my standards were very high. So I criticized myself a lot. And around 1 year ago, I was in Oman in the Middle East giving a speech, and I met this wonderful human being called Stephen M. R. Covey. He's the son of the famous Stephen Covey. He's also famous because he has an amazing book, Stephen M. R. Covey, Trust and Inspire, for example, amazing book. And he was one of my idols, and I was speaking in the same day in the same conference as him. And when I was going there to the conference, I was hearing a podcast. He was being interviewed, and he shared something that really changed my life for better. And he said that he was working with a Californian university called Pepperdine University, and the mission, the purpose of the university was we create the best leaders in the world, which is great, of course. But he said that he was working with them to change, and they changed the mission in just one word. So they went from create the best leaders in the world to create the best leaders for the world. And when I heard that, I felt so inspired, but at the same time, I felt sad and a little bit angry. And that it was confusing to me because this is so inspiring to me, but at the same time I feel bad about it. Why? And then I needed to practice what I preach. Look inside yourself. There's something. Emotions are data. Emotions are telling you something. And when I started to really be more aware of why was I feeling those emotions, I realized that for all these years, and I have my own company and doing training and doing keynote speeches on emotional intelligence for almost 10 years, 9 years now. And my focus was to be the best speaker in the world, to be the best trainer in the world. So what happened was my focus was myself, not my audience. And when I realized that, I felt really bad. Of course, I was like, yes. And I realized that's why when I give a speech and I don't get like 100% reviews, everyone likes it. When it's not like that, I feel devastated. I used to feel devastated. So what happened was I changed again my mindset. I went from wanting to be the best speaker in the world to be the best speaker, the best trainer for my audiences. And that changes everything. Again, when you change what you think, you change what you feel, you change what you do, you change the results in your life. So what I started doing was focus on your audience. What are their needs? How can you help them more? And so now before a presentation, I didn't used to do that before, but now before any presentation, I study, I do research, I talk to people, I do 3, 4, 5, 6. Just yesterday, it's 6 conversations with people that are going to be there, informal conversations, but give me, what are their challenges? How can I help them? So my focus now is on my audience. And this changed a lot because now when I give my presentations, it's less than 1 year now. My presentation, I don't need everyone to like me. I don't need everyone to like my presentation. I just need to know that I impacted some people's lives. And like my friend did that pushed me to the stage, I believe that my job when I do a keynote speech or training, I do little pushes. I'm not the one who's going to change other people's life. I'm the one who do little pushes. And then the person has, of course, the decision, the autonomy to do whatever he or she wants. So I believe this is something that it's very personal to me, but it really improved my quality of life because I apply it not just in my business, but in my personal life with my family.
Wow. Yeah. Little changes. And I think this key message and focus on the audience, what can you give for them? It's actually a good bridge also now when talking about the human side of leadership and now the emotional intelligence. So why is emotional intelligence such a critical skill for leaders today, in your view?
I think it always was important, not just today, but today is a little bit more, let's say it like that, a little bit more, because there's a lot of focus on the technical side, on technology, on artificial intelligence. And we live in a world where most people work in a hybrid workplace, and connection, trust, belonging, it needs a face-to-face connection. Not just, you can still create some trust and connection working online, but it's not the same thing. We are wired to be in person, to look at each other's faces. Maybe in thousands of years we have adapted, but right now, no. Okay, it's too fast for us, right? So we need that connection. So emotional intelligence, when we talk about leadership, when we talk about purposeful leadership, is very important. One of the core skills, or the core skill of emotional intelligence, is self-awareness. Is your ability to be aware of what you think, of what you feel, of what you need, of your actions, of your results, and really adapt and get better and grow. So one of the things in my research, and I research a lot of how to engage people at work, how to really connect, I created from my research a model called the GAP model. And the GAP model are the 5 human needs that make people feel connected, but mostly engaged at work, because engaged is more than motivation, right? Engagements, that commitments, that purpose also. So there's 5 human needs that create engagement. But before I go to those 5 needs, I want to explain why the needs are important. Because the needs are the core of everything that we do, everything that we feel, everything that we do. Even purpose, the basis of purpose is our human needs. Let me give you an example on the needs. When I was in the band, I left the band, the amateur rock band. It was called Blend. And I left in 2019. And the guitar player from my band, he said, for him, having freedom is working 9 to 5. Because when he leaves at 5, or when he goes to the weekend, he can enjoy his hobbies. He was a dance professor, for example. He can enjoy his hobbies. He can enjoy his life. He's not worried about the job, so he's not stuck. The whole weekend, he enjoys the weekend. And because he knows when you have your own business, you have to work a lot of times, right? You have to work on weekends and other. So for him, freedom is working 9 to 5. For me, freedom is having my own business, is having my creativity, is having my autonomy to create and don't have a boss that tells me what to do. So we all have the same needs, but the strategies that meet those needs are different.
Yeah.
So one of the most important things about purposeful leadership and the connection with emotional intelligence in leadership is the new style of leadership that works today for everyone, but most importantly for the new generations, is a leadership that is not just, like Stephen M. R. Covey says, it's not just command and control. Because the old style of leadership was more, hey, I'll give you the command. This is what you have to do. Now I'm going to control if you're doing it well or not. Now it doesn't work anymore. Now it's trust and inspire. It's creating that trust. It's creating the inspiration. It's creating the engagement. So how do we create that engagement? By meeting needs. When you meet a need, when you meet a certain needs, you create engagement. So the 5 human needs from the GAP model are growth, autonomy, appreciation, psychological safety, and purpose. Okay, so these are the 5 skills. So if you, in a team, you meet those needs, then you have an engaged and purposeful team that is really engaged and connected with each other. But the difficult part on leadership is, even though now you know there's more needs, of course, but these are the 5 that I, in my research, found are more important. Now a leader has this guide. Okay, if I work on these needs for everyone in my team, they are engaged. But the problem is, or the challenge is, for each person, the strategies that meet those needs are different. For example, appreciation. For some people, they feel appreciated when they receive a prize in front of everyone, or they receive a compliment or positive feedback in front of everyone in the team or the company. For other people, just stepping on the stage to receive a prize is horrifying. So they feel appreciated. For example, one-on-one meeting with the leader, with the boss, and receiving that positive feedback, or just a boss that helps them grow and gives them training, and they feel appreciated for that. So the need is the same, but the strategy is different. So this ability, this skill to understand what's the different needs, the different strategy, what people, this is the framework. A leader right now needs to understand what people think, what they feel, and what they need. And that is very hard because each person is very different. It's not, and working on hybrid environments with just group meetings, you're not going to figure that out.
Yeah, I really like the GAP model. And one thing that I have always been very much stressing is know your people. As a leader, exactly what you were saying, that every person is very different. So you really have to know your people, and that really gives you the understanding how are you leading your team and all the individuals that are in your team. But Ricardo, you also talk about emotional fitness. How is that different from just emotional intelligence?
Yes, well, emotional fitness is a kind of a broader concept because every time I work with a client, or even in the majority of my speeches and trainings, before I go to the emotional intelligence techniques or strategies or theory, whatever it is that I'm sharing, I always ask them, how are you sleeping? Are you exercising? Are you sleeping well? How's your physical health? You know why? Because if you don't sleep well, it's going to be very hard for you to manage your emotions. And if you cannot manage your emotions, it's very hard for you to regulate your emotions or influence others in a positive way. So everything is connected. And this is kind of easy to understand. When you are at the end of the day and you are really, really tired, it's easier for you to eat that chocolate that you know it's hard for you. It's not good for you. It's easier for you to scream at someone and to lose your temper. So when we are not rested, when we are not physically fit in a way that we are rested, that we are okay, so we have energy in our bodies, so when we are not fit in that moment, it's hard to regulate our emotions. It's harder, let's say it like that. But emotional fitness is not just about the physical part also. It's about how you can train your emotional intelligence, because emotional intelligence, it's proven already, different studies, a lot of research that you can improve, like Daniel Goleman also shared. You can improve your emotional intelligence. And I got to tell you that I am someone that improved a lot my emotional intelligence. It was very hard. I give a few examples already here. It was very hard for me to manage my emotions. Of course, I have a lot of things to improve, still a lot. Some people look at me and say, hey, you're the emotional intelligence expert, so you manage your emotions perfectly. Forget about it. Because it's something, we are humans. We are humans. And one thing that I'm still struggling, I've worked a lot of things that I improved. For example, because I was shy, I was running away from problems. I would never face any problem. And so I faced my mindset from the cow attitude to the buffalo attitude. And if you're watching this or hearing or watching the podcast, at the end of the podcast, we're going to share, and Tarja is going to share a video of me on stage sharing this cow and buffalo story. That's what happens in nature, and it's a very, very powerful metaphor. So it's we really need to balance this our physical health with the emotional health, and we can really improve. So I forgot what I was saying, but now I remember. One of the things that I'm struggling is, and I mentioned the food and the sweet. I have for years and years, I have this impulse to eat sweets and candies and chocolates, and this is something I worked a lot of things, and I improved already. But this is something that I'm still struggling. Not in the same proportion. I improved a lot, but I still struggle with that, and I'm still improving. So it's an ongoing process. It's not something that, okay, you do it and it's okay. So emotional fitness is when you train your emotional intelligence, not just your physical health, but your emotional health. And the more you practice, the easier it gets. The more you practice how to be more empathetic with others, the more natural it gets. So it's based on neuroplasticity, of course. So we need to practice. And a lot of people say, hey, I went to an emotional intelligence workshop, so now I'm emotionally intelligent. Forget it. It's the same as going to the gym. You looked at the machines in the gym, and I said, yes, now I'm fit. It's the same thing. You need to practice every day. You need to work out every day. So it's what you need to do is easy. The hard part is the consistency part.
Yeah. Would be wonderful if it would be that easy.
Yes.
Yeah, it's an ongoing journey, and as you've been saying, it's really everything starts by leading yourself, and the better you take care of yourself as an entity, the better you are also, I think.
Lead yourself
Leading
first.
Yeah. Hey, I have to ask, artificial intelligence is, of course, coming very, very strong. And I think you also talk about the AI versus emotional intelligence. Can you give us a very brief sneak peek on some of the key messages you are sharing when you are talking about that topic?
Yeah, that's a topic that there are so different messages. There are so different perspectives. And I believe that artificial intelligence, it's because a lot of people say it's a threat. A lot of people say it's a gift. And what I believe is artificial intelligence, it's a tool like any other tool, like any other technology, and we can use it for everything that we want. So some people will use it as a threat. Some people will use it as something very good. And a lot of people are using it in their daily lives, but this is just the beginning, right? So artificial intelligence comes from this need. Again, we come from the need that human beings to simplify our lives. And what happens is when you try to simplify your life too much, you tend, for example, thousands and thousands of years ago, when we didn't have the technology of cars, other technologies, we walk a lot. We used to walk a lot. So it was good for us. We exercised a lot. Now we have cars. Sometimes we sit in a chair in the morning. We go to our car. We sit in the car. We go for the office. We sit, or we just stay at home the whole day sitting in the office. So we don't walk enough because we have this technology. So in that sense, is negative. But at the same time, we travel a lot. We connect more. We go to places. So we go faster. We simplify our life. So it's artificial intelligence. It's like a car. You can use it and a lot of people have car accidents. They go too fast. They use the technology in a bad way. So the thing is, another message that I sent in my keynote is that artificial intelligence is a little bit like our kids, because our kids were created by us, by humans, and they learn by example. So the example that we give to our kids, they will mirror in the future. Even though I don't believe that our parenting influences 80 or 90% of their behavior in the future. No, much less than that. But there's an influence, especially the example. Our example, it's very, very powerful to our children. And artificial intelligence is very important because artificial intelligence will model our behavior, will focus on our behavior. So what we need is to teach connection. We need to teach empathy. We need to teach love. We need to teach, and because artificial intelligence, it's programming, we need to program empathy. So this is one of the controversial phrases that I say in my keynotes, right? When I say we need to program empathy, because it's never real empathy, it's simulated empathy, yeah? But it doesn't matter if it's simulated, we need to program artificial intelligence to get the best of what we get. So I'm very optimistic about the future of artificial intelligence, because even though my vision is very different from what we see in the news, I am optimistic on human beings because I believe that the majority, big majority of human beings are kind people that just want the best, do the best. And I believe that artificial intelligence will model the same thing as human beings. So the majority of the programming of the artificial intelligence will be used for good, and there will be few exceptions for bad. So it's one of the messages, because a lot of people are worried about it, but I believe it's going to be all right.
Yeah, I'm exactly on the same side with you. I think there's a lot of opportunities, and as you said, it's and I really like the way how you are talking about kids and children and giving that sort of as an example to understand the AI and what we are teaching and how it's learning.
Yeah.
If we talk about then organizations, the culture and the performance, so how can organizations, in your view, start embedding emotional intelligence into their leadership culture?
There's of course there's different ways. One of the ways to do it is with trainings. Usually, I say that the keynote speech opens the minds, and then the training works on the skills and makes the real change. And consultancy, of course, that's one of the ways, because you can train it. You can really work on the specific skills for your specific organization, but there's different ways. You can do it with a zero cost. Let me give you an example that it's very applied to modern days. Like I said before, there's the majority of people worldwide are working in a hybrid workplace right now. And it's the research on that is it's amazing, because what it says is how companies define how many days people go to work. The majority, they define like, okay, in our company, it's 1 day or 2 days or 3 days, everyone needs to come to the office. Others have different variations, or they just say, okay, you can choose if you want to stay at home, if you come. Others say everyone needs to come every day of the week. So different variations. But in research by Gallup, what they found out is only 12% of the companies gave the autonomy, 12% gave the autonomy to leaders to define the rules of coming to the office or working remote for each team, to be different in each team, only 12%. But that strategy, when the leaders of each team created the biggest engagement inside the companies. So what happens, and now we need to understand why, because this is it comes back to the needs of each company, of each individual, right? When the team leader understands, okay, you are more productive at home, okay, great. You are more productive coming to the office, okay. So getting the information. What do you prefer? So you have a kid. Okay, so you have a kid, you need to get out at 5 sharp to get it to the school. Okay, that's okay, great, perfect. So you need this, you need that, you work better here. Okay, so you have all the information now. So regarding the industry and all that information, what he knows about connection, about engagement, how, right? And of course, a leader should know that being in person in the office, face to face, at least minimum 1 day, the whole team is very, very important. And everyone knowing that person prefers every day at home. That one prefers every day coming to the office. With that information, he or she, the leader, can say, okay, this is what we're going to do. From Monday to Thursday, you work where you want, where you are more productive. Friday, everyone comes to the office. But I say everyone. It's very important that everyone comes, and we'll do this intentional meetings. We'll have pizza for lunch, for example. We'll have this fun together. We're going to connect. We're going to create trust intentionally. What happens nowadays is this person of the team goes on Tuesday, and the other person goes on Wednesday. They don't see each other. So the goal of connecting is not working. And even though they go to the office, they're still working hybrid, because there's one person over there and another person over there working, and they're doing the meeting still on the computer, even though they are in the office. So what happens is it has to be more intentional and work on that. Another thing that's very interesting is about engagement. The average on employee engagement around the world is 23%. Only 23%. This is the average. This means that in some companies it's 10 or 5. What the Gallup research found out is with a simple habit, the engagement went to 80%, 80. One habit. And this habit, again, goes to the same principle of understanding people's needs, emotions, and thoughts. And the habit is the leader should have a one-to-one meeting with each one of the employees once a week. And now a lot of people would say, hey, yeah, but that's impossible. I have 10 people in my team, 1 hour per meeting, 10 hours. I don't have enough time to do that in a week. I have a lot to do. So, but the thing is, if you do a weekly one-to-one meeting with everyone in the team, you don't need 1 hour. 15 minutes, 20 minutes is enough. Talking every week with that person. Maybe in the first one, you need a little bit more, but then just 15, 20 minutes is enough, or half an hour, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But the thing is, in that meeting, the Gallup went a little bit further, because I'm saying meaningful conversation, right? But the thing is, what is a meaningful conversation, right? So they asked people, what is meaningful conversation for you? There's different, you can research, but I'm telling you one of the things. One of the things is, the most important is people want to talk about their strengths, what they are doing well, and less about their weaknesses. And a lot of times these meetings are, hey, you're doing this wrong. How can you improve your weaknesses, and doing this wrong, right? And people don't appreciate that. They like to feel appreciated. If you have a one-to-one meeting with your boss every week, and your focus is how you can improve and even be better at your strengths, you're going to enjoy that for sure. Okay. It doesn't mean that you're not talking about things you need to improve. Of course, you can still talk, but it's the focus. The focus is on the strengths. I often talk about Cristiano Ronaldo because he's from my country. And for me, he's a true buffalo, right? He faces the storms. And I always ask people, do you think Ronaldo or Messi, do you think they work more on their strengths or weaknesses? During the week when they're preparing for the game, are they working more on defense, trying to take the ball out of the other players, or scoring goals? That's their strengths, right? They're working on their strengths more. And that's why they came to be number one. So, because when you work just on your weaknesses, you'll be average on a lot of things, or just good on a lot of things. When you focus more on your strengths, you can be really, really exceptional and high performing.
Yeah, and I love that, because that has been, for me as a leader, that really has been the sort of focus, that focus on the strengths. Everybody has such a brilliant amount of different strengths, and you can focus on those and further build on those. And also I did have with my team one-on-ones, maybe not every week, but I was continuously having them. And it was all about the people. It was all about being there for the people, creating the environment where they can be feeling trusted, and also maybe getting answers that they needed to go forward with some of the priorities. So I'm fully with you. I love what you're saying. The time is running, and I think we need to start heading towards the end. And I have here a quick fire. So I'll be asking you brief questions where you're welcome to give short answers. So let's start. What is one word to describe leadership today?
I will tell you more than one word. It's to be a needs investigator. Okay. Needs investigator.
Okay. Needs investigator.
Yes.
Wow. Can you name one book or idea that has shaped your thinking the most?
Nonviolent Communication by Marshall Rosenberg, for sure. It's an amazing book, and it connects the emotional intelligence and how we communicate with our human needs. And sometimes we forget to really share what we need, and that is a core of communication and the core of our human beings.
Definitely a book that I will read as the next book. What is one daily habit that supports your emotional fitness?
For me, is doing the first thing I do when I wake up, after, of course, brushing my teeth, is I go to the gym. I don't think people need to go to the gym, but you need to move your body, because when you move your body, you get energy for the rest of the day. So for me, it's my trigger. When I exercise, the whole day goes well. When I don't exercise, it's kind of strange. I move with the less energy, and it's not. So when I exercise, I do all the other things that really impacts my life. So for me, my trigger is exercise for sure.
Okay. What is advice that you would give to the next generation of purpose-driven leaders?
I think I want to share something. This is the last question, right? Is this the last question?
Yeah, it is.
Yes. Okay. I want because it's the last question. I want to share this message, and the message is the purpose of a leader and the focus of a leader. One of the things is a message that I shared before is don't focus on being the best in the team. Focus on being the best for the team. And it works for the leader, works for every employee, everyone. One of the things is our focus should not be, the purpose is not the result, is the effort. So what I want to say with this is when I change my purpose to the effort instead of the result, everything kind of changed. Because sometimes we connect the purpose with a result. And when the result doesn't happen for some reason, we have a sense that we're not committed to our purpose, or we didn't manage, we didn't succeed. But I don't think purpose, it's like an objective that we have or we don't have. We should connect the purpose with the effort. So let me give you an example, my example, right? And then you can apply to yours. When I give a training, when I give a speech, my focus, my purpose is to share. Is to share my experience, is to share my expertise, is to share, to try to connect with people, is to really inspire people for some action. So what I used to do is connect my purpose with a result. So for example, my purpose would be to make people start working more on emotional intelligence, or the purpose would be make people read more, and if it doesn't work, now I feel like I failed on my purpose. So the purpose is not that, because we cannot change other people. So this is the basis of it. We cannot change other people. Each person is responsible for itself, and it's their decision. Even though people call me a motivational speaker, I always say, I cannot motivate you. I'm sorry. I can influence your thoughts. What I do, like I said in the beginning, is little pushes, right? I give you a little push, then it's in your hands. So it's your decision to motivate yourself. And motivation comes from action and not the other way around. When you do something and you get, wow, I done it. Like I sang in the stage and I said, wow, now I'm motivated to do more. It's not because someone said, hey, go to the stage and you can do it, that it's going to change. And just because I did, because of that little push of my friend, I had the decision of not doing anything with it, right? And a lot of people come to trainings, they love it, but they don't do anything with it. And it's their decision. So if I connect my purpose with helping everyone and help everyone improving their emotional intelligence, I'm going to fail for sure, because it's not in my hands. What's in my hands is to always share my vulnerabilities. It's always share my experience, my bad, the episodes in my life that didn't went well, my insights that I can share with others, and I can inspire others to then make that decision to change. So now my purpose is something that it's completely in my hands. And now I can feel good with my purpose, because that's what I'm doing. So don't connect your purpose. This is my advice. Don't connect your purpose with a result. Connect your purpose with what you can control, with the effort. Yeah, what you can do in your daily life that's completely in your hands. Yeah.
Wow, Ricardo, I think you have given a lot of inspiration for our listeners and watchers. What a powerful conversation and powerful, very concrete messages. I'm sure a lot of people are taking a lot from this discussion. But I'm sure that also a lot of people are thinking, what is this buffalo story? What does it really mean? So let's close here with the video. I think it's really powerful, and I think it really gives you the message that be a buffalo. So let's go to the video. Thank you, Ricardo.
Thank you so much, Tarja. Yeah, be the buffalo.
Thank you.
This is how cows and buffaloes face storms. So let's start with the cows. So cows are eating grass. They see a storm just like this one far away. What do cows do? They start running away. So what happens is the storm is coming and the cows don't run very fast. So the storm reaches the cows and the cows keep running away. So they go with the storm. They maximize the time they are inside the storm because they go with the storm. But buffaloes are here on earth for a longer time. They, just like the cows, they are eating grass. They see the storm far away. What do? Nothing at all. They don't care about the storm. They just keep eating, enjoying life, eating grass, right? But the storm comes really, really close to them. They all together. They're always together. They look at the storm. What do? Nothing at all. They don't care. They enjoy their lives. But then something changes. The first drop of water, of rain, drops in the buffalo's head. And in that moment, what do? They run into the storm. So the storm is coming this way, and they run into the storm. So they minimize the time they are inside the storm. So my friends, the first message here is, be the buffalo. The buffaloes, they don't care about the storm. Why? Because they know that sometimes the wind changes and takes the storm somewhere else. How many times we, with our problems, we worry about problems that never come to us? Use the buffalo technique. When we see a problem that might come, a storm in our lives, we should have a plan, of course, because they have a plan. They know exactly what to do. If the storm comes, we'll face the storm, we'll run into the storm. If it doesn't come, we'll enjoy life. So enjoy more your life. Be the buffalo. Don't forget to have the buffalo attitude. Face your problems. Don't worry too much about storms that will never come, but have a plan. If it comes, you face it and you go. And also, remember, they always go together. So don't do it alone. Go with your team.